on. Yes. Okay, everybody want to be seated, please?
Good cause. Yeah. So I got it in public.
Okay, I want to welcome everybody here today. We have beautiful weather and we're excited about showing off the building. Just bear in mind it's in a construction state, it's not finished. We also have the building behind us. The building behind us that the Historical Society owns. You can look in there, you can browse the grounds, you can look at the cupola. Nobody's hearing me. My husband's going though. Okay, welcoming you all today. This is as loud as I can talk. What?
Can you turn the volume up? I think we're up.
It's up as high as you can go. You got the whole thing
Right here?
There you go. There you go.
Okay. Welcoming you again to our event where we celebrate 250 years of Worthington Meeting House. To start things off, I'm welcoming our mayor, Mark Kaczynski, town manager, Brian Curley, over here, and state reps Donna Beach and Jack Fazzino. And we're going to start off, Mayor Mark has a proclamation from the town to read.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. Who's that guy? I'm not sure who that guy is over there. It was freaking me out a few minutes ago. It wasn't moving. I didn't know what to make of that. But I get who it is now. Well, it's my honor to be here today. It's really amazing. The history in Berlin is just unbelievable. I don't think I even realized it all, having grown up in town, to talking to these folks and get to their museum and looking at the amazing things that have happened in town. And that this house is still here and still standing is amazing right there. So something to the colonial craftsmanship, I guess, right? They built stuff to last, which is great. So I'm happy to be here today. Thank God we got a nice day. So I have a proclamation from the town of Berlin Town Council. Be it thereby known to all that the town of Berlin hereby recognizes the Worthington Meeting House on its 250th anniversary. Built in 1774, the Worthington Meeting House has served as a meeting place for town meetings, community events, and religious gatherings since it was dedicated in 1775. When the Berlin Congregational Church built its own building down the road around 1850, the meeting house became the town hall for the Worthington section of town. In 1907, Worthington Town Hall merged with the Kensington Town Hall, occupying Brandegee Hall on the ridge. This was the sole town hall for many years. The building next served as the Worthington School from 1907 to 1957, and then it became the home of the Berlin Board of Education until 1975. The meeting house has been vacant for the last 50 years. During those years, major projects were completed to keep it structurally sound. Current and former Berlin residents continue to support and advocate for the restoration of this iconic building because it is clear to their memories and central to Berlin's history. The structure is our oldest and most notable public building in town, the jewel of our National Register of the Historic District. In honor of the generations of Berlin residents, we look to a future which the meeting house again serve as the community, as a museum and community cultural center for all to enjoy. So now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Mark Kaczynski, by virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of Berlin, Connecticut, do hereby observe and commemorate the Worthington Meeting House on its 250th year anniversary and celebrate all the historical events that took place here throughout the years, dated today's date. So congratulations to the house. Great you're still here. And to everyone for keeping it up. Thanks for doing all the good work behind it here. We'll just present that to you.
Okay, next we have Donna Veach and Jack Fazzino, our state reps.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? All right. I just wanted to share something from a personal perspective about this wonderful building and these wonderful people. I've actually been a member of the Berlin Historical Society probably for 2 decades or more. I, too, live in an old house, 1766, so it's amazing that we still have structures like this standing because of people like you that make it happen. And it's important. It's important to pass that history on for generations, his children and grandchildren, my children and my grandchildren, because if we don't do it, that's it. It's gone. It's gone forever. So it's so, so important. We have a citation from the state. I'm going to have Jack pass it over to him. The two of us, along with our senator, and thank you for doing what you're doing. And if you can give to this worthy cause, please do so. This is an important year, not only for Berlin and this community, but for this country. We're celebrating. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Veach. I just want to say very briefly, having grown up in Berlin and having lived in this neighborhood for a little while, not so long ago, Worthington is such a special part of this town. It is so beautifully preserved, and it's a treasure in preserving the history of our town. And this building, in my mind, growing up and even now 30 years later, is really the crown jewel of not just Worthington, but of Berlin. If you go to other parts of the world, they preserve their history so beautifully, and they still have so many buildings that live and breathe and act as a part of the city. And for some reason in America, we don't treasure our property in the same way that other parts of the world do, and I think that that's really sad. Berlin's the exception to that, and specifically this building is the exception to that. And how beautiful is it that probably the best preserved piece of Berlin's history is the meeting house, the place where people came together over the years, decade in, decade out, generation in, generation out, to talk about the issues that affected the town. And up until, in the grand scheme of things, very recently, this town stood the test of time as that place to meet and talk about the issues that affected us on a daily basis. We need to keep that history alive, just as Representative Veach said, just as Mayor Mark said. And I just am so grateful to Lorraine and the Berlin Historical Society for continuing their advocacy to keep our history alive, because we need it now. In a time where we're probably more disconnected than we've ever been as a society, we need to treasure places like this that stand as symbols for the connection of our communities. So with that, Representative Veach, myself, and Senator Rick Lopes hereby present this citation from the Connecticut General Assembly to the Worthington Meeting House in Berlin, Connecticut, in recognition of 250 incredible years of preserving the history of this town. Here's to 250 more. And on behalf of the entire General Assembly, our membership extends its very best wishes and expresses hope for continued success, given this 18th day of October. Signed by President Pro Tem Martin Looney, Speaker of the House Matt Ritter, and Secretary of the State Stephanie Thomas.
Congratulations.
Now we have a performance from the Theater Guild of Berlin, who has generously volunteered to perform this play written by our member.
Oh, it's on. Just turn it on.
I'm so technologically challenged. We're going to have a performance from the Theater Guild of Berlin, who have generously volunteered to perform this play that was written by our member, Kathy LaPallo.
Good morning. Today's events will commence with a brief enactment by the Theater Guild of Berlin, which will take us back in time, unveiling the first chapter in the town's two meeting house stories, without sugarcoating their history of 43 years of turmoil and drama. Enjoy.
We can turn the lawnmower off.
That would be good.
Town manager's on it.
Awesome. Until then, I'll shout. All right. Woo! Oh, the stories this building could tell. Standing here for over 250 years, being finished in 1774 and dedicated in 1775.
Whoa! That was before the Declaration of Independence, the Second Continental Congress, and the Constitution of the United States.
I'm impressed. You know your history. And it's before the Bill of Rights and the separation of church and state. Imagine, it's 1686. There are only 14 families living here among the forests and swamps. The parish is known as the Great Swamp. To protect themselves against the Mattabasset, they built a fort surrounded by a fence of wooden stakes on Christian Lane. They walked 8 miles, regardless of the weather, across hills and rugged wilderness to attend church services in Farmington. In 1705, the Great Swamp Parish, consisting of parts of Farmington, Wethersfield, and Middletown, became known as the Second Society in Farmington. It wasn't until 1722 that a petition to the legislature was made, and it became known as Kensington. In 1712, with the meeting house erected, there were 10 members, 7 men and 3 women. But membership grew, and by 1729, the old meeting house had been outgrown. A new meeting house would be built, and the place was to be Sergeant John Norton's lot on the north side of the Mill River, which was about 1.5 miles west of the Christian Lane site. The vote was 42 in favor and 36 objecting. Little did anyone know that this was just the beginning of 43 years of fighting and turmoil. That's right, the tea's about to get hot. Advisory councils were appointed over the years and different location sites chosen, but the society had serious difficulties. Both sides remained steadfast in their positions as to where the meeting house should be built, often giving rise to anger and hostility among themselves. The emotions were contagious as the youth began to exhibit irreverent behavior at Sunday services. It's always the youth. It seemed nothing could resolve their differences, not even a council's decision that stated the site was the place of God in his divine providence he had pointed out for the meeting house. In May 1732, a committee was appointed to journey to the parish, survey the circumstances, and fix the place for building the meeting house. They pitched a stake in Deacon Thomas Hart's home lot, but the society again refused. In October of that year, 1732, the General Court, or General Assembly, which was the main legislative body, ordered and empowered the Sheriff of Farmington to assess the inhabitants of Kensington 9 pence on the polls and taxable estate of the society and deliver it to the treasurer of the colony, who was to pay out the same to Captain John Marsh, Mr. James Church, and Captain Thomas Seymour, all of Hartford. These gentlemen would ensure that the meeting house was built, and indeed it was. A house 60 feet in length
at 45 feet in breadth, was erected in Deacon Thomas Hart's home lot on the north side of the highway, but adjoining there too, and about 1 rod south of an apple tree partly dead. Perhaps you thought you heard wrong, but I did say an apple tree partly dead. Back then, a partly dead tree, stump, or stones upon stones were used as markers. This practice has resulted, obviously, in many sites becoming untraceable. It makes one wonder, what were they thinking? Well, that discussion is for another day. Back to our story. The new meeting house, located at the corner of Farmington Avenue and Porter's Pass, was built not too far from the old one amid circumstances that satisfied no one, nor alleviated any of the problems. Petitions from throughout the parish continued to arrive regularly at the General Assembly concerning the great difficulty to attend the public worship of God by reason of the length and badness of travel, especially at some seasons of the year. It is not clear what position Reverend Burnham held in the conflict, or the role he played, or influence he may have exerted on the General Assembly, being a man of social standing in the colony. As pastor of the society, he had amassed a significant estate, and the division of the parish may have been deemed a financial disadvantage to him. Pressures for division did arise upon his death in 1750. Now, in 1754, the General Assembly authorized the northwest portion of the parish to be allocated as the parish of New Britain. In 1758, the Church of New Britain was organized with 50 of its 68 members coming from the Kensington parish, which still retained 174 members. It certainly had grown from its days of being the Great Swamp. Even with the removal of some members to the New Britain parish, the friction didn't dissipate, and hostility continued to grow between the eastern and western sections of the parish. The deterioration of the meeting house was allowed. Some eagerly sought its destruction. At an annual meeting in 1770, a committee was appointed to prosecute anyone stealing shingles, windows, or wood from the meeting house. The significance is not that these were religious individuals or that such plundering had or was thought to be about to occur, but that the vote was yea 90, nay 61 for whether the committee should prosecute offenders. News of the controversy and its intensity spread throughout the colony until on June 7th, 1771. 137 people set forth in a petition that the Society of Kensington in the county of Hartford and the colony of Connecticut has long been in a very unhappy, broken, and divided state, and that various means have been unsuccessfully used to reconcile the subsisting difficulties. They proposed arbitration, and that the arbitrators be Colonel John Worthington of Springfield, Colonel Oliver Partridge of Hadfield, and the Honorable Eldad Taylor of Westfield, all from the neighboring Massachusetts Bay Colony. Now here's the fun part. Let's see if we can call them forward from beyond to tell the story of what happened back in 1772. I feel their presence here. Let us call them forth. Ava, how should we call them? Come forward. All right, are we ready? 1, 2, 3. Come forward! Oh, here they come. Now, gentlemen, I know you don't know how these newfangled technology works, but there's a switch, and if you hit it, you'll be able to talk into here and amplify your voices.
Into this black stick we speak?
Yes, into that black stick you speak.
I am Colonel John Worthington, hailing from Springfield, Massachusetts. I departed this mortal life in the year of our Lord, 1800, at the age of 81. Attending Yale in 1740, I was a lawyer and land speculator, serving as the king's attorney for Western Massachusetts and holding the esteemed office of the High Sheriff of Hampshire County. Additionally, I was Springfield's representative to the Massachusetts General Court many a time, lastly serving from 1770 to 1774.
I'm Colonel Oliver Partridge of Hatfield, Massachusetts. I breathed my last in 1792, having reached the venerable age of 80 after a fruitful life. As a descendant of English colonial officers and magistrates, being the great-grandson of the Royal Governor Simon Bradstreet and the great-grandson of Governor Thomas Dudley, who signed the charter to create Harvard College during his 1650 term, it was indeed fitting that I pursued the study of law at Harvard in 1730. From 1731 to 1774, I had the honor of serving as selectman for Hatfield nearly every year. I was also representative to the Massachusetts General Court for 4 years and served as High Sheriff of Hampshire County for a duration of 2 years. It is not my intention to boast, yet the achievement of which I am most proud is my role as a delegate from Massachusetts to the Albany Congress in 1755 and the Stamp Act Congress in 1765, where I ardently supported the resistance to the British Stamp Act during the critical prelude to the American Revolution.
I am the Honorable Eldad Taylor of Westfield, Massachusetts. Though not as favored as my esteemed colleagues in terms of longevity, I led a life of fulfillment and thankfully one long enough to witness the American colonies declare their independence from Great Britain. I expired in Boston whilst engaged in the Provincial Congress at the age of 69. At the tender age of 25, I represented Westfield in the colonial legislature, a role I fulfilled numerous times in subsequent years. I played a vital part in the establishment of state government, for I represented Westfield in the inaugural Continental Legislature of Massachusetts in 1775. For many years, I served as a deacon within the Congregational Church.
We shall commence. For many a year there hath prevailed a notable discord amongst the brethren of this parish. Colonel Partridge, the Honorable Taylor, and I have been designated as arbitrators, charged with discerning whether the disunion of this community may indeed be the solitary path to serene existence. Should such division be found necessary, we must determine the place for each meeting house. Gentlemen, we ought to reveal unto these town folks the occurrence of that fateful day.
Yeah. Yay. I have perused the records of the General Court. Numerous petitions have flourished throughout the years, and rather than remedying the disputes, they have only intensified and escalated.
I too have examined the records. This discord is manifestly bequeathed from father to son, with nary a resolution in sight.
Dost thou entertain the notion of again convening with the parish members, notably those 137 who did cast their votes, to cultivate an amicable resolution to their plight? Can we coax them into accord? Shall a single meeting house suffice, ensuring equitable distance for all parties? What say you?
As I discern, further inquiry from the petitioners doth seem useless. The greater majority of the group appear most obstinate to concede in any respect. Their determination is as immovable as granite regarding the site of their assembly.
I express my concurrence with Colonel Partridge. Upon considerable discourse, I am thoroughly convinced that the populace is lively and steadfast, untroubled by the tribulations that may afflict their brethren.
Shall a ballot be taken to resolve whether the society ought to be severed, thus founding 2 houses of assembly?
The society is already fractured. I vote yea.
Their sentiments are resolute. I vote yea.
I too cast a vote of yea. Wherefore, it doth appear to be the predominant sentiment of this committee that the schism within the society is doth necessary and pressing. After diligent attention to the pleas of the petitioners, it is evident that this separation is vital for tranquility, and it being necessary, we shall designate the sites for the new meeting houses. United, we have hearkened to the pleadings, recognized the facts of the matters to be addressed, and thus have rendered our decree. We consulted a considerable number of society members, examined their petitions to the General Court, and arrived at this determination. The present meeting house shall be dismantled, and the shingles, timber, glass, nails divided equally to be used in the two meeting houses. We shall define the boundaries. However, first, those subscribers who have endorsed this petition must solemnly vow to relinquish their former prejudices, inclinations, and all factional or self-serving pursuits. They shall acquiesce to our decree and shall neither directly nor indirectly contest it. Do you, the subscribers, vow to honor our resolution and abide by it? Yay! Gentlemen, we have deliberated upon the vast territories, and it is my understanding that a demarcation shall traverse Belcher's Brook North, then proceeding northward along Four Rod Road unto the existing town boundaries. A meeting house shall be constructed slightly to the west of the dwelling house of Daniel Cole Jr., whereupon a stake has been firmly established betwixt two substantial stones in center of the thoroughfare.
This shall mark the place of the Kensington Meeting House on what is now Percival Avenue.
It is my belief that we are in concord that a stake placed nigh a maple tree, dividing the lands of Solomon Dunham and Benjamin Galpin, shall serve as the foundation for the edifice of the Worthington Meeting House, which doth stand before us.
Thank you, gentlemen. The decision of the arbitrators was ratified by the General Court, and the Act states in part, at a General Assembly of the Governor and the Company of the Colony of Connecticut, holden at New Haven on the second Thursday of October, in the year of our Lord 1772, the said Society of Kensington shall be, and the same hereby is divided into two distinct ecclesiastical societies. That said West Society shall retain and be called by the name of Kensington, and the East Society shall be called by the name of Worthington. And each of the said two shall have full power and authority is hereby given them by their major vote to lay taxes and raise and levy money for the building of such houses.
We would like to thank the performers from the Theater Guild of Berlin for their wonderful performance. Chris Cody as Colonel John Worthington. Justin Cody is Colonel Oliver Partridge. Durrett Williams as the Honorable Eldad Taylor. Kate Thompson, narrator. David DeMaro as the teenager. And now a few words from the president of the Friends of the Worthington Meeting House, Lorraine Scott.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Today you have heard the beginning chapter in the story of the Worthington Meeting House. Over these last 250 years, this building has served as a meeting house, Berlin Town Hall, Worthington School, and offices for the Board of Education. Meeting houses were crucial to the community. They served both as a place of worship and a gathering place for town meetings and discussion. It is here that the community came together in good times and bad. On these grounds, you are standing on history, Berlin's history. It can come alive again. You can experience the other past chapters and create new ones by supporting the restoration of this building. There are only 10 to 12 18th century meeting houses still standing in Connecticut. Berlin has 2 of them. Imagine this building as a community cultural center, a place to hold events and programs, business meetings, conferences, and luncheons, a place to come together to discuss, explore, and experience the visual, literary, and performing arts, surrounded by historic displays and artifacts. It will be a place to gather to celebrate some of life's special occasions like showers and weddings. The town has faced other financial challenges in the past. Together we can breathe new life into this building for our enjoyment and for future generations. Additionally, its restoration will create a unique attraction, increasing economic development for the town. We know that historic preservation projects take a long time to complete, and we will remain persistent. As proof of the community's commitment to the building, much work has already been done to assure it will securely stand for generations to come. This building precedes the American Revolution. Think about that. It was standing a decade before Berlin became a town. No other public building is better suited to tell the story of the past 250 years. We will never forget how townspeople grieved the loss of Kensington Grammar School and then the Berlin train station. We, the people, control when we continue to move forward to reoccupy this building. It pays to speak up. Generations before us repurposed its use because they cared about the building's history, and it was contrary to their New England spirit to abandon it. We will persist, but we need your help. In a minute, I will be opening the first floor of the building to a limited number of visitors at a time. And to help you visualize the future of this building as a community center, a virtual video is available for viewing outside the door around the corner. We are confident you will be impressed with the vision that came together after a public forum and input from town officials, the Friends of Worthington Meeting House, Berlin Historical Society, and state preservationists. We urge you to check out the storyboards on the north side of the building. They relate the history of the restoration project, including some unusual discoveries. We again want to thank everyone for coming, for the Theater Guild of Berlin, and especially to the town crews for helping to move the cupola and prepare the grounds for the event. Enjoy this glorious day.
Please stay and enjoy the grounds and festivities. There will be a tour and refreshments at the 1771 house, which is the white building located directly behind the meeting house. Shop at the sales tables and purchase fundraising items. Purchase an instant bingo scratch-off ticket with the chance to win a $25 Visa gift card. Create a piece of history by decorating a large puzzle piece, which will be assembled into the Worthington Meeting House 250th commemorative puzzle quilt. Collect a bottle of Avery soda, specially labeled for this event. Obtain other items of local interest. To view inside the meeting house, as Lorraine had said, you just ask, because it's limited as far as how many can go in at a time. Step back in time when the building served as a school by peeking inside the cupola to observe the carved signatures of boys from town who were daring enough to climb up and brave enough to face any punishment if they got caught. Sound your support and donations by ringing the bell. And don't forget to pose for a selfie. with our first president, George Washington. President Washington did make note in his diary of his first visit to Fuller Tavern on Worthington Ridge in 1789. It is very likely that he visited and passed by this meeting house on other occasions. Today, just think you might be standing in the same spot where he stood all those years ago. And thank you for coming, and remember, this project is possible with your support. Enjoy the day.
One last thing, if I could introduce our ever-busy, ever-industrious town clerk, Kate Wall, who is co-chair of the America 250, Berlin, Connecticut. Hi, sweetheart. I want to encourage you all to follow us on Facebook. The Facebook page is America 250, Berlin, Connecticut. It's open to anyone. It's where we will be posting our progress and events for the coming year, because next year, July 4th, 2026, is the semi-quincentennial. Is that right? It's 250. That's right. It's hard to say and even harder to spell. But Kate has put together a great committee, co-chair Carrie Traska of the library, and the committee meets once a month and they're working hard. So I just wanted to put in that shameless plug for the committee. Enjoy the day. Go get some tea out back.